Then came the night that changed everything. It was my husband's 40th birthday. The whole family was there. I had spent weeks planning it, every detail, every dish, every decoration. Diane stood up to give a toast. I expected kind words. Instead, she looked directly at me and said my husband deserved someone who actually matched this family. Someone who did not need to try so hard because she would have belonged naturally. The room went quiet. My husband looked down at his plate. He said nothing. That silence cut deeper than her words. I stood up slowly, looked her in the eye and said only this. One day you will need someone like me. And I hope you remember tonight. She laughed. Loud. Confident. She told me to stop being so dramatic and sit down. I did not sit down. I picked up my coat and walked out of that house and out of that marriage for months later. But what I did not know that night was how far that one laugh would carry me, and how far it would eventually bring her back to me. The divorce was slow and painfully quiet. My husband never once defended me to his family, not that night and not after. I think some part of him had chosen their approval over me long before I ever realized it. I moved into a tiny one-bedroom apartment with second-hand furniture and a mattress on the floor for the first 2 months. I had no career to fall back on. I had spent 6 years building a life around someone else's family instead of building my own foundation. So I started over completely. I took a job at a small accounting firm answering phones and filing paperwork. I studied at night after long shifts, learning everything I could about finance and business. I was exhausted most days, but I refused to stop. Slowly things began to shift. I was promoted within 18 months. I went back to school part-time, earning my certification while working full-time. Every late night, every missed weekend, every moment of doubt became fuel instead of defeat. 6 years passed. I built a career Diane never could have imagined for me. I became a senior financial advisor at a respected firm, the kind of position built on trust, precision, and discretion. I rarely thought about that family anymore. The hurt had faded into something quieter. Not forgiveness exactly. More like distance. More like peace I had earned one difficult year at a time. Until everything changed. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when my assistant told me a new client consultation was scheduled. A referral needing urgent help reorganizing some complicated finances. I almost did not look at the file before the meeting. Then I saw the name. Diane. She walked into my office smaller somehow than I remembered. Older. Visibly anxious. There were documents in her hands showing signs of serious financial trouble, the kind that requires careful strategy and someone with real expertise to untangle. The kind of case that lands specifically on my desk, because I am the one clients are referred to when the situation is delicate and time-sensitive. She did not recognize me until she sat down and looked up. I watched her face shift. Recognition. Then disbelief. Then something that looked almost like fear. I felt no triumph in that moment. Just a quiet stillness. Like life had finally closed a circle that had been left open for far too long. She needed guidance through a financial situation that could affect her entire future. She needed someone with real expertise to help her rebuild stability quickly and quietly. She needed exactly the kind of help that now sat behind my desk, wearing my name on a nameplate she once believed I would never deserve. I want to be honest about what happened next because the truth is quieter than most revenge stories go. I did not turn her away. I did not humiliate her the way she once humiliated me in front of everyone I loved. I helped her. I reviewed her file personally. I walked her through every option with complete professionalism. I built her a clear plan to stabilize her finances and protect what she had left. But before I sent the paperwork forward, I sat with her for a moment in silence. She looked at me carefully and finally said my name out loud, almost like a question she was afraid to ask. I told her yes. It was me. She did not know what to say. The woman who once stood confidently in a room full of people mocking my worth now sat across from me uncertain and afraid, needing the very thing she once said I would never have. Skill. Respect. A place where I truly belonged. I did not need to remind her of that night. I did not need to bring up old wounds. My presence in that chair, calm and capable, already said everything that needed to be said. Before she left my office, she said something I never expected. She said she was sorry. Quietly. Not dramatically. The way real apologies often arrive, years too late, but somehow still meaningful. I told her I accepted it. And I meant it. Her finances stabilized over the following months. I never asked her for anything in return, not an apology tour, not recognition from the rest of the family, not even closure from my ex-husband. I had already built my own closure, one hard year at a time. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is not cruelty. It is becoming so capable, so steady, so undeniable that the people who once tried to diminish you have no choice but to see you clearly. I think about that laugh sometimes. The one that once cut so deep. Now it feels like an echo from someone else's life. I am not who she said I would never become. I am exactly who I built myself to be. And if there is one thing I hope every woman watching this remembers, it is this. The people who laugh at your lowest moment rarely imagine the strength quietly growing inside you. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because one day your growth will speak far louder than their words ever did.
There is a sound I will never forget. The sound of someone laughing at the worst moment of your life. That laugh belonged to my sister-in-law. And on the day I walked out of her family forever, it followed me out the door like a curse. My name does not matter for this story. What matters is what happened after that laugh and who I became because of it. Her name was Diane. My husband's older sister. The kind of woman who walked into a room and made everyone else feel smaller without even trying. She had money. She had influence. And in our family her opinion was treated like law. I married her brother when I was 26. Young, hopeful, completely unaware of how much one person's coldness could shape an entire family. From the very beginning Diane made it clear I was not her choice for him. I was not from the right background. I did not have the right career. I did not carry myself the way she believed a wife in this family should. I tried anyway. I showed up to every holiday. I helped host every gathering. I smiled through every quiet insult disguised as a joke. For 6 years I told myself it would get better. I told myself if I just kept trying she would eventually see me as family instead of an outsider who slipped through the cracks.